And I am going to call on Mr. Huffman for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And good afternoon, Mr. Sheriff. So I think you're aware of this. In December of 2023, 4 tribes, 2 states, 5 federal agencies, and nonprofits all reached a historic agreement on Columbia River salmon restoration. It's called the Resilient Columbia Basin Agreement. Familiar with that?
I am.
As you know, President Trump blew that up in June with this presidential memorandum entitled Stopping Radical Environmentalism to Generate Power for the Columbia River Basin. I would submit, Mr. Chair, there's nothing radical about honoring tribal treaty rights or wanting functional salmon runs that people can actually fish or building clean energy to address both climate change and salmon extinction. And what I'm wondering is whether, in advance of this presidential memorandum, did you or anyone else in the administration actually consult with the 4 lower Columbia River Treaty tribes before this went out?
Congressman, I can't speak for anybody else in the administration. In advance of that memorandum, I certainly did not speak to any of the 4 lower
Did you or
tribes.
anyone else in the administration consult with the states of Oregon or Washington before this memorandum blew everything up?
I can't speak for anybody else in the administration. I did not.
Well, I kind of thought the answer would be no, and I am extremely disappointed in that. The Resilient Columbia Basin Agreement took years to create, and the president has thrown all of that away, seemingly with the stroke of a pen. And so I need to ask you, Mr. Scheer, what is this administration's plan to address Columbia and Snake River salmon? Do you have something better than this, something that will replace it?
Well, I think both the ranking member's opening statement and the opening to your question reflect why the administration was keen on withdrawing from that agreement. You referenced 4 sovereigns, and you didn't reference any of the stakeholders from the transportation sector, the irrigation sector, the power sector, or the recreation sector. And as you will hear, I believe,
I know you're very
testimony-
interested in those stakeholders. What I'm asking you, though, is you blew up a salmon restoration plan. Do you have anything to replace it with?
What we blew up was an agreement between the 6 sovereigns and the federal government under the previous administration. And if there is an agreement to be had, we will have all of the stakeholders at the table to come up with something that everyone can live with.
Do you have a plan?
We are working to figure out whether or not there is a path forward on a plan.
Is restoring the salmon runs in the Columbia River Basin a priority? Is this something that you want to do, that you want to have a plan for?
There are ongoing restoration projects in other areas of the Columbia River Basin to restore salmon, steelhead.
But that's not what I ask. I mean, lots of people are doing good work. You're the administration, you're the Department of the Interior. Do you have a plan? Is it a priority you have identified? Because you just blew up this historic 6 sovereign agreement that was going to address this long neglected huge priority of the Pacific Northwest. Shouldn't you at least have something to replace it with?
The department understands that it's a priority to restore habitat and salmon populations in the Pacific Northwest, and we're going to continue to use existing authorities where we can to accomplish that goal.
As we sit here today, you're unable to point to anything specific that you're doing that might backfill for this on salmon restoration.
Well, like I pointed out, we still have ongoing restoration
Other people are
actions,
doing stuff.
Phase
Yeah.
2 implementation plan.
I
in Upper
understand.
Columbia.
Other people, thank goodness, other people are doing some stuff. What about building out the clean energy that this was going to provide? I'm going to answer my own question. I know what you're doing on clean energy, actually. I don't think you have a plan to replace the clean energy that's blown up by this executive order. But the 6 sovereigns did have a plan, and they're still trying to restore salmon and to solve other critical challenges in the Northwest. Mr. Scheer, I want to urge you to work with them. The fact that there were no conversations, that there was no consultation, that the president simply did an executive order and did such violence to this carefully crafted multi-stakeholder agreement just shows a recklessness that is deeply disturbing. And I hope as you move forward that you will do better, that you will bring everyone to the table, and that will include tribes. I'm also disappointed that here we are again talking about something as complex as salmon restoration and watershed issues in the Columbia River Basin, and we don't have anyone from NOAA as a witness. Now, in the last Congress, every time we talked about this, my Republican colleagues could not hammer on NOAA hard enough. NOAA was at the tip of the spear. NOAA had to answer all the hard questions, and now we have yet to have NOAA here to testify on anything in this committee, and I think it just speaks volumes. Madam Chair, I will yield.